Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So, good afternoon and welcome to our 1 p.m. Our masterclass, our masterclass for today. So, you're all very welcome. So, just to introduce myself, okay, so my name is Lisa. I'm from Ireland. From the northwest of Ireland, and I've been living in Italy for 2.5 years now. Okay, so I am also joined by Emily. So you can see this little box below me here. Emily is here and she will be working on the chat. Okay, so she will be replying to your comments, helping to show some maybe vocabulary and phrases, how they look so written down for you. And also she will be replying to any questions that you have. Okay, and any particular corrections. Okay, so guys, first of all, you're very welcome. So Emily, I don't know if you want to introduce yourself in the chat, but Emily is also, we are both teachers at Myes Masterclass1. Okay, so Masterclass1 in Milan. So if you know us, please let us know. And we want to, yeah, as Emily says, we want as much as you want, and also we want to hear from you, because in these webinars, we want them to be as interactive as possible. Okay, as interactive as possible, and we want to hear from you and to answer your questions. Okay, so yeah, exactly. So if you can introduce yourself and tell us where you are today. Okay, so what Myes school you go to. Hi, Marco. Nice to see you again. So I remember you were in the masterclass on Tuesday. So good to see you again. Where we talked about bilingualism. So guys, yeah, exactly. So introduce yourselves. Paula, hello. Hello again. So Paula from Rome. Hello. Okay, fantastic. So for today, just to mention on the topic, so Bizzolotti. Okay, excellent. Okay, from the school, Bizzolotti. So what we're going to talk about are some household situations. Okay. Master. So we're going to focus on phrases, so some relating to home, okay, in the home and sharing a house or an apartment. Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. So if anyone else is there, please let us know where you are, your name, and please join in with the conversation. Okay, so what we're going to take a look at. Sorry, guys. I don't know if you can still hear me. Sorry, just having some technical problems. Hello? Okay, am I back? Can you hear me now? Okay, sorry guys. So yeah, unfortunately, because there are so many people in Italy right now, because there are so many people, thank you. There are so many people working from home and using the internet in general. Okay, we find that at this time, during lunchtime especially, there can be some connection difficulties. So sorry if that happens, please just be patient. I'm very sorry. Okay, so hopefully it won't happen any longer, fingers crossed, but just in case, just remember I will be back within a couple of seconds. Okay, so hi, Gianni, okay, from Padova. Welcome to this masterclass webinar. So what we're going to be talking about today. Okay, so we're going to look at vocabulary to talk about jobs around the house, okay, or usually we call it housework, okay, housework. We're going to practice make versus do, okay, make versus do, because often this is good to revise because of using them in English, because it can be quite tricky. So even at good to practice this. And then also we're going to talk about and share with you some colloquial expressions. So because I'm from Ireland, we have some different colloquial expressions to maybe what the colloquial expressions that Emily would have in the UK. So we can share both of our experiences with you. Okay, so looking at this. Oh my God. Can you still hear me? Sorry. Again, my computer has frozen. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So what I'm going to do, sorry, I'm going to reshare the slides because it seems to be the actual presentation. Okay, so sorry about this, guys. I'm going to unshare it for a second. Okay, because the presentation itself is causing the problem. Okay, so 1 minute, sorry, thank you, please be patient. Okay, so in the meantime, because we're talking about housing, if you can please share with us in the chat, in the meantime, while I'm doing this, please share with us what your situation is. Do you live in an apartment or in a house? And who do you share with family or with flatmates? For me personally, I share an apartment, okay, with one other person. So we'll be talking a little bit about this later on. Okay, so please write to us and let us know in the comments. Okay, so what I want to talk about, the American dream versus reality. Okay, the American dream. Okay, so this is something that I think we're all familiar with from films. Okay, from films. And I have 2 questions for you guys. Okay, so what is the stereotypical American dream family like? Okay, the stereotypical. Okay, so when we talk about that, we're talking about what you imagine from films or also from even reading books as well. So that stereotypical American dream family. So what do you guys, tell us what you think. What do you imagine it is like? Okay, so I'm going to ask the same question to Emily. What is your impression? Okay, your impression of the American dream family. Okay, and guys, write to us what you think about this. Personally, I do think something that comes to mind with the American dream family is that like white picket fence. Okay, the white picket fence idea of having this lovely traditional home. Also that maybe everyone is so happy. It's very idealized. It's extremely idealized. Okay, so write to us and let us know what you think. So Jani, so you say I live in an apartment by myself. Okay, so you don't have any disputes with housemates then. That's great. Okay, so you don't have to deal with housemates. So very lucky for you. White picket fence, exactly. So yeah, the white picket fence is that kind of dream-like, that it's the actual fence that you have around the kind of the traditional home in America. And a lot of homes are very, very similar. They're in America, they're very, very big. So what do you think this is like? And also, okay, Marco, excellent. Okay, self-made man. Okay, self-made man. Lots of opportunities. Your dream can come true. Your dreams can come true, and you can have. Okay, so remember, we would say you can have a job. Okay, you can have a job because we use job as the noun. Okay, job as the noun and to work as the verb. Okay, the verb. Okay, so we can have a job, a family. Exactly. So yeah, that's it. I think people say in America, they refer to the American dream. It's the land of opportunity. Okay, it's the land of opportunity. Okay, exactly. Perfect. So yeah, land of opportunity. So a lot of people say that. It's like you can do anything. Anything is possible. Okay, and exactly. So we can say you have a job, you are in work. Okay, in work. Okay, when you're in work. Obviously, a lot of us are working from home. So we are not in work at the moment. Okay, so if anyone wants to share your opinions on this, Emily, what do you think as well, kind of that traditional American dream? What is it like? And also, yeah, what is family life like in the 21st century in reality? Okay, so reality versus the dream. Okay, so I think a lot of people have this idealized notion, okay, the idyllic notion that having a family is very simple, straightforward, whereas in reality, it can be a struggle because you have to be able to afford your, especially in America, to afford education for your children is extremely difficult. It's so expensive. So people have to work so hard to try and make enough money for their families. Excellent. So Emily has said, so capitalism. Okay. Yes. So yeah, there is a massive kind of emphasis on capitalism in America. So maybe a house in the suburbs and working in a city. Yeah. So it's this kind of notion, I guess, a notion that you have to work very hard and that you can live this amazing life and it will all be worth it. And yeah, commuting obviously a lot. Okay. Okay, really good. So guys, share your opinions on this. We want to hear from you. And also maybe the reality in comparison, because as I said, the reality of this kind of dream-like idea is a lot harder, and probably for some people it's more mundane. It's more mundane than they realize that actually it's very repetitive for especially for maybe the man of the house. Sometimes they get restricted because they feel like they have to be the person to provide for everyone. Okay, so yeah, please feel free to share with us what you think on this. Okay, so then chores. Okay, so have some of you heard of this word before? Chores? So does anyone know what it means, a chore? So to do a chore or to have chores. Can anyone so write to us and explain what it means? Chores? Okay, if you've heard it before. If not, please let us know. Okay. Okay, I'm going to give you a second because there's a little bit of a delay between you writing the comments and us receiving the message. Okay, so what are chores? Excellent, Paula, thank you. Okay, so yeah, household activities. Exactly. So chores is an American term for what we would really say is like housework. We would say housework. Okay. So for example, parents in America would give their exactly, they would give their children chores to do to help around the house. Okay, like here we have in the picture, washing the dishes, or I don't know, cleaning their room. Sometimes also it could be a chore, could be going to the shop. So things that are exactly household tasks. And just remember that we would say small work or small jobs at home, small jobs at home. Okay, jobs at home. Okay, so work we would have, so work is uncountable. Okay, exactly. So really good point there from Emily. So a chore. So if we say, oh, this project is a chore. Okay, this project at work that I'm working on is a chore. In conversation, it can also be something boring. You're calling something is boring. It's probably like I don't want to do it, and also it's a bit tiring as well. It's a bit tiring. So yeah, so it's something that you're responsible for doing can be referred to as a chore. Okay, so looking at these here, so we have some vocabulary and some phrases. Okay, so what do these mean? So write to us if you know what it means. Okay, so this is American English, to take out the trash. Okay, to take out the trash. Okay, so what does that mean, to take out the trash? I'm sure you've heard this before. And in UK English, so British English, to put the rubbish out. To put the rubbish out. Okay, so let us know what these mean, if you know. Exactly, excellent, Marco, thank you. So the garbage, exactly. So trash is another term for garbage or waste, I guess, waste. And the same as well, rubbish. Okay, rubbish. So in the UK, we say rubbish, okay, as well. So yeah, it's all the stuff we're throwing away, okay? So yeah, so you can take out the trash or throw out the trash. And yeah, put the rubbish out. Put the rubbish out is more UK English. Okay. Very good. Thanks, guys. And then the next one. Okay, so the next one, just to take a look at. Okay, to put the kettle on. So what is to put the kettle on? Because I've noticed in Italy, since I've been here, it's not very common. It's not very common to have a kettle in the house. Whereas in England and Ireland, every kitchen has a kettle. Okay, every single kitchen has a kettle. And we often say, oh, put the kettle on, please put the kettle on. Whereas here, it's not really common to have a kettle. Okay, so usually if we say to put the kettle on, we're obviously saying we'll make a cup of tea. Okay, we'll make a cup of tea. Okay, put the kettle on. I'm going to put the kettle on. Okay, so yeah, so the kettle obviously is the device to boil water. So usually to make tea or a hot drink. Okay, so I don't think tea is as common here as it is in the UK and Ireland. For us, tea is Very, very, very important. So yeah, I find it strange. I really find it strange. I don't know about you, Emily, that I know some people, if they make tea here, they put the hot water in a mug and they put it into the microwave. For me, that's sacrilege. Okay, it's sacrilege. That is not how to make tea. Okay, that is not how you make tea. um, so I don't know if you guys agree or disagree with me. Feel free to disagree. Exactly. Yes, my host family did that. It is terrible. They always put the hot water. Also, my ex-boyfriend who's Italian, they always put the hot water in the microwave. It's not how you make tea. Okay, for us, you need to boil the water. Okay. And then to sweep up. Okay, so to sweep up, so what we call usually, sweeping brush. Okay, a sweeping brush is the brush we use to clean the floor. Okay, so to sweep up is usually to brush the floor. Okay, to brush the floor. Okay, Marco. Okay, I'm glad you agree with me. Okay, you used to do it in the office, but you only had a microwave. Okay, yeah. I just think personally, it doesn't. Okay, it's strange because we never do that with drinks, but also, yeah, it doesn't taste the same. It doesn't taste the same as regular tea. We're quite particular about our tea. Okay, very good. Exactly. So Emily pointed out there, so there's a difference between, okay, so using a brush, okay, so sweeping brush, and also a broom is a bit different, okay? So it's another type of thing for sweeping, a broom, which is more old-fashioned, and also we associate it often with a broom, like a witch's broom, okay, a witch's broom. Okay, so it's a bit different. So sweeping brush is like a brush, it's rectangular, and a broom is more like this type of shape. Okay, so guys, please let me know if you have any questions or if any sure of as we go through this. Emily, let me know as well if you can think of any other phrases that we use for chores or housework. Ah, broomsticks. Excellent. Yeah, that's a very famous film. Really good, Marco. And yeah, exactly. Okay, another thing is a mop. Okay, if you don't know already, the mop is the one that we use. So there's different types of mops that we use for cleaning the floor with water. Okay, so when we wash the floor, we use a mop. Okay, so usually we would say, I have to mop up the floors, or I'm going to mop up. Okay, I remember when I worked in a shop, at the end they would ask, can you mop up? I'm going to close the tills or whatever. Okay, so taking a look at make versus do. Okay, make versus do. So we've quite a lot of terms here. Okay, so first of all, we'll look at the first few. Okay, so which ones do we use with these? Okay, so coffee, an appointment, homework, and the dishes. Okay, so which do we use? Let us know in the comments. Which do we use with make or do? Okay, make or do. Which do we use? Okay, so write to us. Let us know in the comments which ones do we use. Okay. Some of these might be quite easy, but it's just good to revise. Okay, it's good to revise because it can be very confusing. Okay, so just give you a second to answer, guys. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Thank you, Marco. Exactly. So yeah, and Paula. So make coffee, to make an appointment, to do homework, and to do the dishes. Okay, to do the dishes. Exactly. Perfect. Okay, excellent. That's really good. Okay, and then I'm going to go through the next few. Okay, really good. That's perfect. So make coffee and make an appointment. Okay, make an appointment. And yeah, to do homework. To do homework. Okay, so then we have your job, a mistake. Okay, this is a common one that people mix up. A suggestion and your hair. So which one do we use? Exactly. Really good. Yeah, thank you. So just remember that homework is uncountable. Okay, so it's different in English. So homework is always singular in English. So we say to do homework. Okay, to do homework or to do your homework. Okay, so it's uncountable. Perfect. Thank you, Paula. That's excellent. So to do your job, to make a mistake, to make a suggestion, and to do your hair. Okay, to do your hair. So yeah, to do your hair is like to prepare, I don't know, obviously for men maybe it's when you put gel or wax in your hair. Okay. Or for women it's maybe you're styling it. Okay, to do your hair. Okay, but yeah, make a mistake. It's a really common thing that people say to do a mistake. Okay, but yeah, in English we say to make a mistake. Okay, really good. So I'm going to go through these, quite a lot of them. Don't want to spend too much time because I think you guys know. Okay. So here, so we have a task. Okay, so a task, the washing up, an exam, the housework, and your chores. Okay, your chores. Okay, so take a look at these and think about which do we use, make versus do. Okay, so I think you guys know this, so I'm just going to through. So to do a task, okay, to do a task, to do the washing up, okay, so that's the washing up is doing the dishes, okay, similar to do the dishes. Okay, really good, perfect. So yeah, it's another term for doing the dishes, the washing up. And then an exam, okay, you do an exam, okay, you do an exam, or we can say to take an exam. Obviously here we're not using take, but we can say to do an exam or to take an exam. And to do the housework, exactly, perfect, to do the housework, okay, to do the housework and to do your chores, to do your chores. Very good, Paula, yeah, do everywhere. Excellent. Okay, so then the last couple before we move on, okay, so we have the laundry, the ironing, and breakfast. Okay, the laundry, the ironing, and breakfast. So remember the laundry, so that's when we wash the clothes. So to do the laundry, sorry, I just said it. To do the laundry, anyway, to do the laundry is to wash and dry your clothes. Okay, get your clothes dry. The laundry, okay, so that's when you're washing clothes. Okay, and then the ironing, what do we use? The ironing and breakfast. Okay, so perfect. Okay, so do exactly as I said, do the laundry, do the ironing, okay, do the ironing, and then to make breakfast, okay, to make breakfast. Okay, so yeah, so in the case here, so make we always use when we're so like we said, make a coffee, to make breakfast, to make dinner. Exactly. So it means you're preparing something. Okay, you're preparing something. Okay, so usually when we're referring to food or drinks, make. Okay, exactly. Perfect. Okay, so Emily, let us know if you have any tips on a good way to remember this as well. But yeah, I think in general, guys, you know this very well, so it's just revision for you. Okay. So then, what we're going to look at here, okay, not under my roof, okay? This is a very typical expression. So, not under my roof, that it's like something a father or a mother would say to their child when they do something wrong. So, for example, if they discover that their teenage child is smoking, they might say, "Not under my roof. You like you won't do that." Okay, basically, that won't be happening. Okay, that won't be happening. And not under my roof. Okay, yes, so Emily agrees with everyone else. Make is generally more creative. Exactly, it's generally more creative. That's the thing. There isn't really a fixed rule. So yeah, so with some of them, there can be exceptions as well. But yeah, so not under my roof. So if anyone here can give examples, so I'm going to take a look at these. So sorry, it just takes a little bit for these to load on the screen. Okay, so what we have here. Okay, so we're going to look at the household situations and think of colloquial expressions to use. Okay, colloquial expressions to use in these scenarios. Okay, so the first one here is a 17-year-old girl is home late. Okay, home late. Okay, so what expressions could we use in these situations? The second one, your housemate makes an unbelievable excuse about why he or she hasn't done his share of the housework. Okay. Okay, so always housework or chores always are a problem when it comes to sharing an apartment or a house. And then your partner has just bought something very expensive and you're worried about household finances. She is being a bit secretive about the price. Okay, so actually, the first one, for example, using the title, that would be something that a parent would say, not under my roof. It's like, because when, does anyone know? So when a child has a deadline for when they have to come home, so in America, it's called a curfew. Okay, a curfew. Okay, so when they have to be home by a certain time, it's a curfew. Okay, so yeah, so in this case, probably the child broke. So we would say to break curfew. Okay, so they've broken curfew if they've arrived home late. Okay, so Marco, fantastic. You're okay. So we would probably say you're you shouldn't or you can't come home. Exactly. So you can't come home at this hour. Okay, so Emily, thank you. So you're not coming home at this hour while you're under my roof. Okay, while you're under my roof. Okay, so usually we would say this is not to happen or for anything like this. It can't happen while you're living under my roof. Okay, while you're living under my roof. Okay. Another thing could say, one thing that parents often say, I probably I imagine in all countries, is like, what time do you call this? It's like, what time do you call this? It's like they literally would be like, what time do you call this? Where have you been? uh, so it just means they're late, and it's like, what do you imagine? Like, what do you imagine that it's okay that you can be this late? Okay, what time do you call this? Okay, thank you, Emily. Ah, excellent, Paula. Fantastic example. This house is not a hotel. Very good. Okay, this house is not a hotel. That's a really good one. Okay, this house is not a hotel. So yeah, it's like you can't just stop in and stay when you want. when you want. And another one, I would say, you can't just come and go as you please. Okay? You can't just come and go as you please. So, for example, if someone maybe they don't spend enough time at home with their family, and they just arrive in late and don't spend much time, sometimes people would say, you can't just come and go as you please. Like you need to actually spend some time in the house as well. Okay, and also you can't just go out and come back whenever you want. That's what it means. You can't just come and go as you please. Okay, so really good examples. And also, so scenario B. Okay, so scenario B. Perfect. Thanks for that, Emily. So you can't just come and go as you please. Scenario B, your housemate makes an unbelievable excuse about why he or she hasn't done his share of the housework. So, what terms or colloquial expressions could you use in this situation? Okay, please let us know your opinion. And also, Emily, if you have any phrases that I haven't talked about, please add them into the chat as well, any of the expressions. Okay, so I have a few ideas for this one, but I want to see what you guys think about this. So if someone is making an unbelievable excuse about something. Okay, yeah, exactly. So maybe in this case, it's like, it wasn't my turn, it was your turn. Okay, it wasn't my turn, it was your turn. Exactly. So in terms of their responsibility to do something. Okay, the responsibility to do something. Excellent, Gianni. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Fantastic. Yeah, so are you kidding me? You haven't done the dishes again. Are you kidding me? Also, I would say something like, you really need to pull your weight. Okay, you really need to pull your weight. Okay, so to pull your weight, you really need to pull your weight. Okay, so they need to do their share. Okay, do their share. So we can say to pull your weight, to do your share of something. Okay, you really need to pull your weight. Exactly. Also, that can be used to pull your weight, is obviously you can use it talking about at work. So to pull your weight on the team, to help out more, maybe someone who is, so for example, another phrase we could say here, like you're slacking off. You're slacking off. Okay, so when we say you're slacking off, it means that you're trying to avoid doing work. You're trying to avoid doing your share. You're slacking off. Okay. And another one I was thinking of as well is just if they're making an unbelievable excuse, we could say, isn't that a likely story? It's quite simple, but it's something we would often say in this situation. Oh, isn't that a likely story? Okay, it's like, okay, you found some sort of excuse to avoid doing what you need to do. Okay, to avoid your responsibilities. Okay, perfect. So yeah, so we have a lot of phrases there. Excellent. So are you kidding me? It wasn't my turn. To pull your weight, to slack off, and isn't that a likely story? Okay, really good, guys. And if you think of any other things, please let us know. Um, okay, a lazy person. Thank you, Emily. So a lazy person can also be called lazy bones. Okay, so in this case, maybe they could say, oh, you're such a lazy bones. You never do anything. You're such a lazy bones. Okay, you're such a lazy bones. Really good. You're such a lazy bones. Actually, that's something, going back to A, in Ireland, something that we say for a person who maybe is arriving late. Like my father would say to me, oh, what time did you arrive home last night? You out all night. They actually call a person an out all night. Sometimes they say a dirty out all night, which is a bit offensive because it means that you're up to no good. So it's a person who stays out for, like till a really late hour, so maybe until the morning. So sometimes they might say, "Oh, what were you up to last night? You dirty out all night." It's a very Irish phrase, though, I think. Emily, let me know if you have that too. But yeah, it's a very Irish phrase, I think. Yeah, out all night, yeah. It's just to let you know in case you ever come across it. Okay, and then C. Okay, so C. Okay, you haven't heard it before. Yeah, it's quite a funny one. My father and some of my relatives would say it. Oh, yeah, out all night, yeah. So C, your partner has just bought something very expensive and you've worried about household finances. Okay, you're worried. So they're being secretive about the price. So what expressions could be useful or could be used in this scenario? Okay, so please let me know what you think. What expressions could be used? Ah, okay. Yeah, very good. So in the UK, it's a dirty stop out. Okay, so someone who stays out for the whole night. Okay, so unfortunately, it has obviously very negative connotations, the meaning. So the same as like dirty out all night, it probably means like you were up to no good. You were up to no good. Paula, okay, excellent. Couldn't you find another time to splash out? Excellent. Okay, so yeah, to splash out. So if anyone doesn't know that, so to splash out is to spend a lot of money. Okay, to spend a lot of money. So to splash out on something, usually you go over the top on what you spend. Really good. That's excellent. I really like that. And also another way to say to splash out is like to splurge. I don't know if you know this. To splurge. Like, oh my God, I really splurged on buying my new laptop. It's like I spent too much. Okay, I spent too much to splurge. Okay, it's very colloquial. It sounds like a very strange word. But yeah, to splurge, yeah, is similar to splash out. Splash out. If anyone has any other ideas, please let us know. Okay, maybe as well, if it's very serious, it could be something like this is the final straw. Like we just can't afford to live like this. And also the person is, it seems, living outside their means. Okay, they're living outside their means, so they're actually spending more money than they actually have. Okay. Um, Okay, very good, Gianni. So big discounts do not mean that you saved money. Excellent. Okay, big discounts do not mean that you saved money. Okay, exactly. Because it's like sometimes people say, oh, but it was 50% off. And it's like, yeah, but 50% off of a big pile of money is still 50% of a big pile of money if you don't have it. Okay, and exactly. So living outside their means is spending more money than you have. Okay. So anyone have any other terms that we could maybe use for to discuss this? Okay. Okay, so while you're writing, I'm just going to move on to the next slide because it takes a bit, but we can still go through the vocabulary. Okay. So then, this is always fun to discuss. Okay, always very fun to discuss. So guys, take a look at these questions and please share with us your thoughts. Okay, please share with us your thoughts. So whichever question maybe you can relate to the most. Okay, so the first one is, what is the main source of contention in families, in your opinion? Okay, so the main source of contention. So just if you don't know, so the contention is like, it's the main source of disputes, or also when it's something that causes difficulty in a family. Okay, something that causes difficulty. So what do you guys think is the main source of contention in families? To be honest, I think it depends on the family, but I think there can be a couple of things here. Okay, so please let us know. Exactly. So yeah, source of difficulty, source of arguments. And then also, what are the differences between a stereotypical family from your country, okay, so from Italy, obviously, and an American or British one? Okay. So what do you think are the differences? So please let us know what you think. Because yeah, I think definitely there can be a difference in the family dynamic. So how everyone relates to each other. There can be a difference traditionally between maybe American families and Italian families, or British families and Italian families, just in the dynamic of how the relationships are. Okay. So personally, I feel, so I'm just waiting for your responses on these questions. So personally, I feel that the main source of contention is often to do with, so if it's your direct family, it can be exactly to do with the kids, or also finances. I think finances. Okay, so Gianni, you say how to raise the children. Okay, yeah, for sure. That can be very difficult. Okay, so yeah, for example, maybe one parent has a different style, and the other parent has a very different style of parenting, or different ideas. Definitely, I agree. And also, Paula, yes, so lack of space and the lack of freedom, for sure. I think in that sense, probably relating more to you and your relationship probably with your parents. So maybe, yeah, having a lack of independence, or maybe, yeah, like parents being too, like we would say, too clingy, parents being too controlling or interfering in your personal life, even as you grow up. For sure. And also, yeah, for kids, that can be a point of contention. And yeah, Marco, exactly. So yeah, how to spend money. Exactly. So trying to balance being considerate about money, and also kind of maybe the expenses, the day-to-day expenses, and also those kind of extreme things as well. Okay, really good. So guys, yeah, share with us your kind of your opinions on these, and also kind of maybe about your own experiences, because we're almost coming to the end of the webinar. But we want to kind of discuss this with you a little bit more before we finish. And then, so personally, and I hope I won't offend anyone if I say this, so I think that typically, okay, so usually a big difference between a stereotypical Italian family and an American or a British one is typically to do with how close the families are. Okay, how close the families are, because I find personally that Italian families seem to be a lot closer than maybe the typical British family or Irish family. They communicate a lot more than we would. And also, hopefully not offending anyone, I think the relationship between the mother and children is a lot stronger in Italy. This is just on my based on my own experiences, because I think there is a very strong bond, and like the mother and grandmother of the family are everything. Okay, that's what I've noticed anyway. Okay, so yeah, you can say a close-knit family, a close-knit family. Okay, so just before you finish, guys, please let us know your opinions, what you think are the differences. Okay, the differences between maybe a British, an American family, or an Italian family. So anything that you've noticed based on your experiences. Obviously, I'm speaking in general, so please don't be angry with me. And yeah, and also as we come to the end, if you have any final questions, please let us know as well. Okay, so I give you a little bit of time. Yes. Okay. Very good, Paula. So Italy relies mostly, so mostly on family structures versus public services. Okay. So in that, okay, perfect. Okay. So there is more of a dependency on family versus maybe using other outlets. Okay. So Gianni, you think that a British family maybe is more open-minded? Potentially, yeah, potentially. I think that could be true. But yeah, it really depends. It really depends. That's the thing. Every family is different. Okay, but yeah, I agree. Okay, and I'm sorry guys, we're gonna have to wrap up, but if you want to let us know if you have any final questions before we finish. Apologies again for the technical problems at the beginning. Unfortunately, as we're trying to make this work from home, it can be a little bit tricky. But fingers crossed tomorrow we won't have any problems. Okay, so guys, just before we finish, I wanted to say thank you so much for your participation. Excellent for all your comments, all your answers, really, really good. And I hope you found this useful. So thank you so much from myself and Emily, and we hope to see you tomorrow for another webinar at 1 o'clock and to see you soon. Okay, guys, have a great afternoon and evening. Thank you so much. Okay, yeah, Marco, family is often fundamental. You don't have to portray it. Okay, very good. Okay, thanks so much, guys. Bye bye.